All right. Hello, welcome everybody. It is now Tuesday, June 30th. It is the last day of June 2020. Hope you guys are all staying safe out there and welcome back to another live stream. I think I'm going to start live streaming some of these Ask Zax videos that I make where I respond directly to somebody's email where they send me an email concerning their relationship problems, questions, or just looking for advice on how they deal with a breakup or whatever it happens to be. Uh, I am continuing to work through my online course to get my certificate to better help people with relationships, specifically dealing with heartache, the end of relationships, the end of marriages, and to help both men and women deal with that what seems to be unbearable pain when it happens. How could somebody that said they loved me so much for so long suddenly walk out of my life, suddenly say goodbye, whatever it might be? So be sure you guys comment in the chat. Be sure you guys let me know what your thoughts are as I read this email. This email here came to me yesterday morning. I want to go ahead and say, guys, I'm also getting a lot of emails at my askzaxter.com email address. If you guys have a relationship problem that you want answers to, that you hope I make a video for, be sure you tune in and be sure you send me an email at askzaxter.com. That is my email address to ask those specific questions. I also want to let you guys know that I will be opening up a one-on-one personal line to help you guys with relationship problems, as they happen to you, where you guys can have me listen to you, to your unique relationship problems, whatever it is. If you think that I can help you, if you think that my empathy or my listening might help you, let's be honest. Sometimes we go through a breakup or we go through some kind of a situation in our lives or in our relationships or in our marriages where we just need somebody to talk to. Maybe mom or dad doesn't work because they're too opinionated or they're going to tell you, their thoughts or tell you where you went wrong or, you just don't feel comfortable maybe telling a friend or a family member or something like that. Being able to talk to somebody one on one might be something that could help you. And it's a service I look to offer here in the very near future. And I'll have more videos about that. If you guys haven't already checked out my Real World Love channel, you can click that link at the top of my YouTube or at the top of my Zaxtorian YouTube banner on my main channel. There is a link right to my Real World Love channel where you guys can see all these relationship videos that I make posted right there. I do want to have a specific unique channel. This video here, this live stream here, will be uploaded to my Real World Love channel as well. So how you doing, Ethan and Berkey there? Welcome to the stream. So again, guys, I'm looking at probably a rate of around $30 for a 30-minute session to talk to me one-on-one and have somebody to talk to about your relationship issues, get my advice, get my recommendation for your next steps or how you deal with, a breakup or whatever it might be. Anything relationship sided you're needing to talk to, somebody about, and you're wanting, wouldn't say professional help, but definitely real help and real honesty about what you can best do to best move on, to best fix the situation, be happy. And in the end, that's really all I want any of you guys to do, any of my viewers, anybody who's sending me an email, is I just want you guys to be happy. I want you guys to find happiness. I want you guys to find the inner calm that will allow you to move on. So when I say Zaxter99 videos from the heart, that's what I really mean. I mean, I put my heart and soul into everything I do, whether it be a video game review or certainly whether it be helping you guys with your relationship problems. So what I want to go ahead and say, guys, is I have quickly read this email before making this video, so I kind of know what it's about. Let's hold judgment or try to hold judgment on the person that sent this email. It's really easy when we're on the outside looking in to come up with answers or to say where they went wrong or to say how crazy they are or how crazy they sound. but understand that when we're going through these situations ourselves in our own relationships, a lot of times it's really hard to see clear. It's really hard when you love somebody with everything that you are. You know, you've been dating them for a long time, you've been through a lot with them. It's really hard to see something that might be so clear to somebody looking in on the outside. So let's go ahead and read this email, guys. It's kind of a heartbreaker, to be honest with you, when you read it. But let's go ahead and read it. As you can see, it came in, and I do block out. If you guys send me an email, if you guys want to send me an email, you guys can use names, locations, you know, all that stuff, but all that stuff would be blocked out before I make such a video. Ethan says I'm 14, but the stuff you're telling us is a life conflict that happens daily. You're a good person for that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really can see by the number of emails I'm getting at my email address that I just, you know, I can't answer in videos. I am responding to everybody's email. A lot of these emails I'm just responding with an email back, and I'm not making a video about it. I'd be making 2-3 videos a day if I answered everybody's email in a video. But if, for example, guys, since I did, I think it was as Zaxtor number 3 a few weeks ago, I've received over 80 emails. Over 80 emails in less than a month. So people are definitely looking for help with their relationship issues, with their breakups, etc. And I have been doing this a short time, guys. I'm still going through the certification course to know everything, to understand everything. All right, guys. Hello, Zaxtor. This is a female that wrote in. We don't know her age. She never gives her age or the gentleman's age or anything like that. So we have to kind of guess at that. But the situation is going to be pretty much the same regardless of what their age is. You know, sometimes it's just nice to know. So if you guys do, you know, send me an email, knowing people's ages would help in situations. So for example, especially if it's some situation where you're like 19 and you're dating a 35-year-old woman or something like that. Putting ages in will definitely help sometimes with, you know, getting my best advice. The more information you give, the better I can understand your situation and hopefully better give you my thoughts and feedback and what I think your next step should be. But it says, hello, Zaxtor. I need your advice on how I can forgive the one man I love more than any man I've ever dated before him. This is what I'm talking about. This is where the clarity, you know, seeing clearly becomes murky because she's so in love with this one guy. She's never loved anybody more. I think we've all been there, especially if you've dated for any, you know, amount of time. He's cheated on me with my second cousin and denied all wrongdoing while he was cheating when I came to him questioning his distant communication with me over the past 2 months. Let me explain everything. We're just going to call him Tom, okay? That's not his real name, but we're going to go ahead and inject Tom here. I met Tom while working at the same department store with him in the summer of 2018, so 2 years ago. He was funny. He was charming. He made me laugh. It made the workdays go faster because he was a lot of fun to be around and to associate with. We began to court, and he confided in me then that he was married, but that he was very unhappy and only still with her because of their 8-year-old son. His wife was never affectionate with him, never listened to him or cared about his interests. We both live in, okay, again, we both live in a state where there's mountains and a beach. So we'll just say Oregon, okay? That's not the real state where they live, but I'll just inject these. So we have Tom. She's madly in love with Tom. She met him working at the same department store back 2 years ago. And they both live in Oregon, let's say. We both live in Oregon, and he likes to go to the beach and go camping in the mountains near us, but his wife never wants to do anything that he loves and chooses to stay home while he and his son spend time outdoors. So the guy's married. He says to this gal that's writing to us that his marriage, he's unhappy in his marriage. His wife is unaffectionate. Maybe she never gives him hugs, kisses. Maybe there's no intimacy in that regard. And also she takes no interest in things that he's, you know, passionate about, like being outdoors, going to the beach, going camping, going in the mountains, stuff like that. So she doesn't even come along, is what he's telling her anyway, his wife doesn't even go with him when him and his son go outdoors to the beach, to the mountains, whatever. His wife never wants to do anything and chooses to stay home while he and his son spend time outdoors. I felt special that he chose me to confide in. And over that summer, we started to get very close, and he promised me that he would divorce her within the next 2 years. So, a little bit of a question there, like why would it take him 2 years to divorce his wife? It's not like he's waiting for his son to grow up and be 18. His son's only 8 years old. So that's a little bit of a question there, like why 2 years? If I'm thinking about this right now, I'm thinking, okay, if he's telling you 2 years, 2 years from now, he's going to tell you, oh, another 2 years. And then another 2 years. So if people are willing to make a change, they should be willing to make that change, like, really soon. Like, if not now, like, within the next month or two. Hey, I just want to make sure that I got everything ironed out. I want to make sure I'm ready to file these divorce papers. I want to make sure she's set up and we have the bills paid, etc., etc. But 2 years? Who needs 2 years to go ahead and go through a divorce if they're that unhappy? So that's a big question mark right there already. Anyway, she's in love with him. She's falling in love with him over that summer where they're working together. And so, again, he doesn't really see clearly. If she asked him about the 2 years, why is it going to take so long? She didn't mention it here. Anyway, she goes on. Because of this connection, and because we had grown so close, I chose to continue the relationship with him when he moved 6 hours away from me with his wife and son, and give him the opportunity to break free to be completely exclusive with me. I also refrained from any sexual connections with him until a separation was made and he filed for divorce. So again, she falls in love with this guy that's married while they're working together. He says, hey, babe, I have these problems. My wife doesn't love me. She doesn't do anything with me. We have a son together. That's why I'm staying. But I'm going to divorce her. I'm going to divorce her within a couple of years. Okay, that's kind of a red flag right there. However, she's in love with him, and she says that she refrained from all sexual connections with him. So she didn't go anywhere with him, probably just beyond kissing or whatever. And that's what she's saying here. And she said, hey, you're not getting anything from me until not only do you break away from your wife, but until I also see that you file divorce papers. So good on her for that. At least she's not being intimate with him before, while he's still married. And, so at least she's doing some things correctly here, in my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you guys want to put it in the chat, definitely let me know what you guys are thinking. Brookie Bear says, I respect her morals for not having sexual contact with him until the separation. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be hard to do, especially if you were so, I'm sure attraction was a big part of it. I'm sure chemistry was a big part of their, the relationship at this point. And I'm sure that there was temptations, and she's avoiding temptation until he can be a free man. So bravo to her on that, absolutely. And if you're listening to this, ma'am, I'm sure she will watch this video. Bravo to you for, for making that choice and being strong in that department. Anyway, she goes on. The relationship continued from September of 2018. I guess that's when he moved away. Yeah, when he moved that 6-hour distance away until now. And for the first 18 months was great. So they're long distance, 6 hours away, and she's saying everything's going great. Even though we were limited to calls, when he had that freedom and text messaging, he stayed very connected to me, and we shared almost everything together. It wasn't until sometime in early April that he started becoming noticeably more distant and disconnected from me. Okay, so just a couple months ago, started becoming more distant, more disconnected. The phone calls stopped. With his wife losing her job because of COVID. Okay, yep. The shutdown caused his wife to stay home more, so he couldn't call her and talk to another woman behind her back. But his text messages became much less common, and when he did text me, the messages seemed shallow and perfunctory in nature. So if anybody wants to know what perfunctory means, it just means kind of like really generic. like without any effort. So he's not really putting a lot of thought into the messages he's sending her. It's probably stuff like, just how are you? How's the weather? Have you eaten yet? Just really generic stuff. Not anything about issues that they've talked about in the past. I can certainly understand that. Ricky says she sounds young so far, maybe 21 to 23. He may be closer to 25 to 30. Probably. That's probably a really good guess, Ricky Bear. So his messages become shallow and perfunctory, really generic, basically. He made excuses too often that his lack of text the day prior was because he was ill and fallen asleep. He's ill a lot, which in turn made me feel guilty for feeling unappreciated. Oh, wow. He also stated many times that his wife was becoming more jealous and would start snooping his phone and watching him, preventing his ability to text me. That's a little bit suspect as well. He still texted me, but used these two excuses so often that it made it very difficult for me to completely believe him. So she's already losing trust for him. In the messages that he did send, he just started sharing all the details of his everyday life. And when I would ask him about this, he would tell me that I was imagining things and that I needed to learn to trust him more. His changes did make me think that maybe he was repairing his broken marriage or that he had met somebody else new, but I never accused him of these. I only asked him if either had happened, but he adamantly stated no to each. So as you can see, with the distance of the relationship, everything goes well for about a year and a half, it sounds like. But then during this shutdown, which I think has probably hurt a lot of relationships, even marriages, people being home together, people are I think people are either connecting more with the shutdown because they're indoors together more, or they're realizing how sick of each other they are and how they don't want to be around each other. I honestly would expect a huge increase in the amount of divorces filed here in the coming months as this whole shutdown clears up. Anyway, so yeah, it sounds like he's probably BSing her, guys. It sounds like he's probably BSing her about his wife becoming more jealous and snooping. I mean, which could be the case, especially if he got caught once or something like that texting her. I can certainly understand how his wife would start watching over his shoulder more. But the one thing that he said, becoming ill all the time and going to sleep, and that's why he didn't text her, that sounds like a bunch of hogwash. That sounds like total, yeah, it sounds like he's just making up lies to cover up the fact that he's hiding something. Brookie Bear says, sorry, this guy is a player and very manipulative. I feel bad for her. She sounds sweet, and I really think she should move on from him. It's a healthy relationship for her, and honestly, I think she should find someone who's going to be more honest with her. Yeah, I mean, we're just halfway through it. It gets worse here. So it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago when I was about at my breaking point because my heart felt so empty. Aw. So already him not texting her as much and not being able to talk to him on voice is making her heart feel empty because of all this, and the truth was exposed by my second cousin. Oh boy. Her and I don't talk much. Usually only every couple of years at a holiday family gathering do we even talk at all. She called me and told me about how he had messaged her the first time back in February and how he had pursued her on Facebook. He had found her second cousin from her Facebook page. So family Facebook page, he finds her second cousin with a picture he likes or whatever, and probably found her more physically attractive than myself. Oh boy. She is 6 years younger and keeps her great body with the luxury of being able to eat anything she wants, and she also shows herself off in many of her own Facebook pictures. Uh-oh. Anyway, it sounds like she knows what's going on, though. Anyway, she showed me the full conversation logs between them, how he had hit on her, and liked many of her posts and many of her photos from an alternate Facebook account that he had that I never even knew about. So now he's using a alternate Facebook account she doesn't even know about after about 2 years of dating him. He doesn't know he has a Facebook account. He told me that he didn't even have a Facebook account when I asked him about it about a year ago. He finally talked her into meeting him, as they were only about 45 minutes apart, not 6 hours like her and him were. And he never told her anything about me, about his wife or his son, and he even told her that he was married and not wanting anything serious, but just wanted to have fun. Wow. Maybe she's closer to 30 herself then? Yeah, it could be. They were intimate. So now he's having intimacy. He's basically having sex with her second cousin over the past couple of months. Well, that would explain why his text messages to her became more vague and generic and shallow and perfunctory, as she said. Wow. So now he's having sex with her second cousin, which he hit on, and he found her from her own Facebook page with an alternate Facebook account. This is messed up. Oh my gosh. So they were intimate over the past couple of months, which makes me feel very hurt because I have known him now just over 2 years, and he chose to sneak behind me and go there with my own second cousin, and had even lied to me when I asked him directly if he had met somebody new, which he mentioned up here. It all makes sense now, and when I look back at the timing of his becoming much more distant with me, she only called me with all of this that she found out herself that he was still married. I guess he told her that he was not married anymore. She had called his work when she wasn't there, and or I guess when he wasn't there, and his fellow employee had told her or asked her if she was his wife. Okay, so his second cousin calls his workplace for some reason, and his workplace, whoever answers the phone, says, "Oh, is this his wife?" So she finds out he's married. That's how his second cousin found out that he's married. Oh my gosh. She started putting things together and then found out that I was dating someone with the same first name, and that it was indeed him, and that she had been sleeping with the same guy for the past couple months. She now hates him for what he has done to both of us and what he's doing to his wife as well. When I discovered all of this, I messaged him and told him to leave me alone and to never contact me again, even though it hurt like I've never hurt before. He then called me a few days later. He cried on the phone and admitted to everything, but said that my cousin was the one who started flirting with him, and that he never told her of me never told her of me or me of her, because he just didn't want to hurt either one of us. Oh boy, what a lie. He denied ever being intimate with her and accused me that assured me that he is saving everything of himself for me, and that he has already told his wife about me and that he wants a divorce. So now he's giving her hope. She's been waiting on this guy to divorce for almost 2 years, and now after he gets caught cheating, not only his wife but with this, he basically promised her a commitment. It sounds like, and so he promised her a exclusive commitment, even though he was already married. I guess he's basically saying, "Hey, I have no intimacy with my wife. I'll be with you as soon as I can get a divorce." And now basically he breaks that down. He breaks down his own promise to her by cheating with her second cousin. He assured me that he wants to be with me and is even willing to move in together with me soon, so we can be together every night, and so that I will learn to trust him completely. I really do love him so much, and I don't really care about anything that he may have done or not done with his wife, my second cousin, or anyone else. I want him more than anything in this world. I love him with all of my heart, I just want to know how I can forgive him and trust him again so I can love him completely without any second thoughts. All right, let's go ahead and read Brookie Bears. Okay, yeah, Brookie Bear says, what a toxic person he is. I want to go ahead and say I feel a lot of empathy and sympathy for this gal. I also want to go ahead and mention right here, guys, that the female that wrote me this email also donated to me, so I certainly want to go ahead and thank you for the donation that you provided me with at the time that you sent this email. I did get a donation from her about the same time that the email came in, and it's one of the reasons that I chose to read her email and make a video about it and hopefully answer her questions here. I think this is a problem that happens more than we would think or care to admit. I think people get involved with married people. I think there's a lot of marriages out there that just aren't happy, or maybe they are happy and the husband or wife just wants more. They want their cake and eat it too. They want to play the field while they're married. And I feel like a lot of people, men and women both, do this, I believe. While they're married, they're basically getting as much as they can on the outside. And they're hurting people while they do it. I think it happens way too often. Brookie Bear says, oh no, honey, that man is lying to you. Yeah, absolutely. So this lady, as you see, is desperate. She's writing me an email. She's donating money to me, probably hoping the donation or her plea for me to tell her what she wants to hear. And I can't do that. I can't tell you what you want to hear to the lady who wrote me this email. I do apologize. I know that a big part of you wants me to tell you what you asked me. You want to know how I can forgive him and trust him again. Without any second thoughts. You say here that I really do love him. I don't really care about anything he may have done or not done with his wife, my second cousin, or anyone else. So that shows her level of desperation to hang on to this guy that he's fallen for. And I can certainly understand how she could forgive him, how she could be open-minded enough to understand, to listen to him about his unhappy marriage. And I think she did the right thing by holding off, any sexual intimacy until he actually showed her that he was separated and filed for divorce. I think she did the right thing there, because had she been intimate with this guy, this only would have hurt a lot more. But this guy is no good for you, ma'am. To the lady who wrote me this email, this guy is, like Brookie Bears already said in my stream chat, he's very manipulative. He's lying. He started lying to you at the point where he, was basically having a sexual relationship with your second cousin. He was lying to you about being sick and probably his wife being jealous, or maybe his wife did catch him having some kind of intimate conversation with your second cousin. And maybe that's why his wife suddenly started getting more jealous and watching over his shoulder. It may not have been his, text messages to you. Here's the thing, though, guys, and this is what I think everybody needs to understand. This lady is having a relationship even for the first, when she met him that summer, and then the long-distance relationship for the 18 months that it went well. She's being exclusive to a married man. Okay, the man is still married. He's living in the same house with another woman. He has a child with that other woman. And this poor gal is saving herself for this man and being exclusive to a man that isn't being exclusive to her. She doesn't know that he doesn't have, a strong sexual relationship with her, or with his wife. We don't know that, and we know by the fact that he's lying to her on so many of these situations that she explains that he could very easily have been lying about his unhappiness in his marriage. Again, I go back to the first red flag I saw, where he said it's going to take him 2 years to divorce his wife. If he's that unhappy with his wife and he's out looking for other women, why, and he really wanted this gal, he should be willing to get a divorce. So this poor gal made a couple of mistakes, and it's easy to understand when you look at this with a clear, from a clear view. She did the right thing by restraining herself intimately from him when she met him, but she should have walked away immediately when he told her that he was married, that he was unhappily married. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be, a bitch about it. You don't have to say, well, F you, you're a bastard, I don't, care about you or whatever. But I definitely wouldn't have been texting him or committing to him when he's still married. He should have never given him any kind of commitment while he's still married. It's easy to do. I can certainly understand that. It's easy to understand. And I think a lot of women, especially younger women, I think they're attracted to married men over single guys. I mean, that's a fact. And I think men are attracted to married women, but especially females. I think females are much more attracted to married men because we always want what we can't have or what we're not supposed to have. But B, a married man is, you know, somebody else has seen something in a married man to commit and marry that guy. So it kind of puts him up on a pedestal above a single guy. For other women looking on, they're seeing married men as somebody up on a pedestal because somebody else chose them and chose to marry them. So they're kind of like higher value, if you would. Brookie Bear says you cannot trust a man like that. He is trying to lure you back in, and sounds like you're a good person, such a trusting kind person. But he is lying. He will say he will move in with you, but when it comes there will be an excuse as to why he can't. Yeah, I completely agree with Brookie Bear here. I know this hurts. To the woman who wrote me, I would love to know, how old you are. Are you your younger 20s? Are you in your 30s? Maybe your 40s? Who knows? We don't really know how many relationships you've had. So if you're 23, for example, you probably haven't had a whole lot of relationships when you say that you love this man more than any man you've ever loved. Okay? So now comes the hard part. You really need to do at this point, I know it's hard after you've shared so much over the past couple of years with this guy, and after you've connected and learned to care about this man and felt like he cared about you. But hey, you really need to walk away. At this point, he's giving you more than enough to walk away. You deserve, everybody out there deserves somebody who values them enough to not cheat, to not lie, and to not play games with you. As Brookie Bear mentioned, he's manipulative, he's playing games, and basically what he wants is he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. He already has his cake at home with his wife. And not only is he wanting to eat more cake with you, he's already eating cake with your second cousin. He's had that cake, right? Now she doesn't want any more to do with him, but he's already had her. And now he wants to eat you as well. And I think there's a lot of marriages out there. I think men and women do this. I think men and women they're content in their marriage. They may not be the happiest person in the world, or maybe they are. But they go up and they make these stories up, or maybe they're not even making stories up. Maybe they're not happy. But they're content enough to stay in the marriage. And they go out and they look for people and they manipulate them into falling in love with them. They manipulate them into having affairs. They manipulate them and tell them whatever they need to hear. Hey, I'm going to get a divorce in 2 years. Hey, I'm not happy with my wife. My wife never has sex with me. My wife never gives me a hug, whatever it is, while they're married. If you're that unhappy in your marriage and you want to pursue other relationships, especially if you're wanting to commit and you're wanting other people to commit to you, you need to get a divorce. You can't expect to be married and expect other people to commit to you. Okay, and I'm talking to married people out there right now, because there's a lot of married people out there that are doing this. And you are hurting other people. You are pursuing people with what you see as fragile, weak hearts. people that are manipulative, and people that you can play games with. And it sucks. You know, it's hard. It's hard to see this kind of an email come in at me. But yeah, you need to. The question is, I mean, I got to be flat out honest with you, to the woman who wrote me this email. I mean, you're the one who wrote me this email. This is what I need to do, is give you my best advice. The first thing you need to do is you need to analyze yourself. Okay? I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 19 or if you're 45. You need to look at how much you value yourself. How much value do you put on yourself? Because at this point, I'm saying you don't hold any value for yourself. All you say is how much you love this other man. Okay? This man doesn't love you. This man doesn't give a damn about you. This man has remained married for 2 years. And it's understandable that he would remain married. He has a kid. He has a wife. You know, I'm sure she's giving him something. What, it may not be the affection or sex that he wants, but he is staying with her for some reason, probably besides the kid. Okay, so he finds value in his wife, and he's staying with her. He's finding value in his marriage. Maybe it is because of his kid, but whatever it is, he's finding enough value in his marriage to stay there and to put you off for 2 years and to try to text you. And basically from that texting conversation, the phone calls, he was getting something from you. He was basically getting probably an ego boost from you. And I'm sure he enjoyed, you know, sharing jokes with you and talking to you about his work days and, you know, listening to you and stuff like that. But he definitely has never loved you at all. So that's when I go back to the question here. And I know that you can understand what I'm saying if you really listen to me and think about things clearly, which is hard to do in your situation. But love is not words. Okay, so he can tell you he loves you, and he can say all the pretty words he wants in the world. He can say how he's waited so long for you. He can say everything that makes it sound great. But actions always speak louder than words. Don't forget that. His actions of talking up your second cousin and probably finding her pictures from your own Facebook, talking her up and manipulating her into having sexual affairs with him, telling her lies about how he wasn't married. He didn't even know he was married. So he manipulated your second cousin, had intimacy with your second cousin while he was committed to you. It was assumed that he was exclusive to you. He was saying, hey, I'm not having any kind of relations with my wife. I'm exclusive to you for this whole 2 years. He probably wasn't. And he proved that with his actions. He had sexual intimacy with your own second cousin. Actions speak louder than words. So he can't erase what he's done with his words. He doesn't love you. And so again, I go back to my first question to you. You need to go back and you need to analyze your own self-value. What do you think you're worth? You're not trash. And you shouldn't allow yourself to be this man's trash. Because that's exactly what he's doing. Is he's stepping all over you. He's manipulating you. He's playing games. And he doesn't care. And now he wants to move in with you. That is the worst thing you could possibly do, is allow this manipulative, selfish man to move in with you. Because all that's going to do is create more hurt for you, and there's no telling what kind of damage he might do. So actions speak louder than words. He's proven that he's not committed to you. He's proven he's not committed to his wife. He married his wife, and he's not sticking up to that marriage because he's out having relationships with you. And you say you weren't intimate with him, but I bet you 2 years ago when you guys were working together and getting close, I bet you guys at least kissed each other passionately. If he's married and he's out kissing you passionately, his commitment means nothing. A marriage is the ultimate commitment, and he's out kissing you. You're kissing him, regardless of the fact that he's unhappy. If he's that unhappy in his marriage, he needs to get a divorce before he goes out and starts kissing other women, pursuing other women for relationships, and mainly for pursuing your heart, he doesn't give a damn about you because he knows he had your heart. He knows he had your trust. He knows he had your love for about 2 years. And then he goes and has sexual relationships with your own family member. There's no way he gives a damn about you. This man only cares about himself. Now, I'm sure he cares about his son, but it's obvious to me this man cares about one person more than anybody, and that's himself. You deserve better. You deserve a man that's going to love you for who you are. You deserve a man who would never search on Facebook for pretty, women prettier than you. Search online for women prettier than you when you're in a commitment. If a man commits to you, you deserve for that man to not be married. If you're not married yourself and he's married, you deserve someone that's not committed and married to somebody else. You deserve the ability to have intimacy with someone that you feel so strongly about. Not have to wait for years to be intimate with them. I respect you, ma'am, for holding out on the intimacy if you really did with this man. I respect that part of you. But the truth is you should have walked away 2 years ago when he told you that he was married. What you should have done is said, you know what? You know how to contact me. You know my name. Here's my phone number. You can call me, but only call me when you're separated, when you're divorced. One of those. I wouldn't have talked to him. I wouldn't have engaged in long conversations on text with him until he showed you that he was serious about leaving the unhappiness that he told you about with his wife. Okay? So that was the big mistake that you made 2 years ago, was by allowing yourself to get so invested with this man, especially when he moved 6 hours away. I mean, him moving 6 hours away should have been all the signs you needed that he wasn't the right one for you. And right now you're trying to hang on. You're hanging on to a complete loser. You're hanging on to a very selfish, manipulative man when there could be somebody else out there that could be making you happy. Could be making you smile. It could be making you, not cry. I guarantee you I can understand that you've cried over this man. You deserve better. You deserve someone to be honest with you. You deserve somebody to not cheat on you, to not manipulate you. And like I said, more importantly, you deserve somebody that's not tied up in a marriage. You shouldn't have to wait 2 or 3 years to be intimate with somebody you like this much because you're waiting on them to get a divorce. To be honest, I don't even believe this man's gotten, filed for divorce. I don't believe it for a second. But even if he has, he's already proved himself not worthy of you. You need to look at yourself. You need to take a hard, good look at yourself and see your own value. And make sure you understand that you deserve better. Brookie Bear says, I agree, self-love is needed here. And he probably did that because you stuck your ground and wouldn't have sexual contact with him. And that is probably all he wanted in the first place. And yeah, she deserves better. He's already expressed a willingness to cheat on you. And if he did this to his wife, he'll do it again. Absolutely. Brookie Bear nails it here. A good man, just looking at this again, when you met this guy 2 summers ago, if the man was really unhappy in his marriage, sure, he might have told you about that. He might have confided in you about your marriage. You can understand that anytime somebody actually goes and tells somebody, and I can tell you this, anytime somebody tells you problems they're having in a relationship or problems they're having in a marriage, that marriage is probably in big trouble, right? Again, let me repeat that. If somebody is talking to strange people, if somebody is talking to somebody they really don't know about problems in the relationship or problems and their unhappiness in a marriage, that relationship or that marriage is in big, big trouble. The person they should be talking to about these problems is the person they're having the problems with, not complete strangers, not online. So, this man has came to you with problems in his marriage. I get that. But let's also look at this woman who wrote me this email. Again, if you're telling details about your relationship, about your problems in a relationship, to somebody else besides the person you're having the relationship with, that relationship is in big trouble. It's doomed, basically. And this woman here is writing an email to me, sharing all the problems and intimate details of her relationship with this married man. The relationship is doomed. Don't continue it. Don't give this man any more satisfaction. Definitely don't give into him intimacy. He wants to have sex with you. I'll tell you that right now. This man wants to have sex with you. And once he does, it's going to be another notch in his belt, and he's going to stay married, and he's going to continue to look for other women, other victims, to put more notches in his belt. This man doesn't give a damn about you. I don't care what he said. Again, I know I'm repeating myself here, guys, but actions speak louder than words. Guys, we spent about 40 minutes on this email. I think I've made it clear to this woman that she needs to hold her head up. She needs to realize that she's worth more, that she deserves a man that she can freely express herself with, a man that she can trust, a man that values her, and a man that wouldn't cheat on her. I can't repeat it enough. You may need to go to counseling if you need help seeing the value in yourself. But the first step is walking away from this man and never talking to him again. Even if this man does get a divorce at this point, I would never speak to this man again for what he showed you already. He's already showed you that he's cheating on you, that he doesn't value you. Why would you want somebody that doesn't value you? Why would anybody want somebody that doesn't value them, that doesn't respect them? Actions speak louder than words, people. If you guys have a problem, if you guys have a question or relationship that you guys want help for, be sure you email me at askzaxter@yahoo.com. Donation to me at my donation links, from the same email address. Let me know that you sent me an email with that donation, and I'll make sure that, I discuss your email with privacy as I show here. I blank out anything that gives anybody information, so nobody will know it's you. But a donation will certainly put your email at the top of the list so that I can answer your questions. But I am answering all emails. I am replying to all emails at askzaxter at yahoo.com. So if you send me an email, if I don't make a video about it, I will email you back and give you my answers, my thoughts, and my feedback on the steps you need to take, just like I've done for this woman here. So again, I want to go ahead and thank you again for the donation, ma'am. I want to thank you for the email. I know that I haven't given you the answer that you want. This man is not the right man for you. And if you want to be happy, you need to turn and walk away and work on yourself. You need to work on your self-esteem. You need to work on increasing your own self-worth and what you value, how you see yourself. You're definitely way more valuable than what you see your own value as. So you definitely need to walk away and work on yourself and rebuilding your self-esteem and your own self-worth. Brookie Bear says she is most certainly worth more. She just needs to find someone who will show her off and love her back for real. Absolutely. This is what I said, guys. This email is a heartbreaking email to me. It hits me pretty hard because I've been in her shoes. I've pretty much been in this lady's shoes in a lot of these same scenarios. I mean, everything is a little bit different, but I've definitely been here in this lady's shoes. So I really sympathize with her. And I think that a lot of people get themselves in these situations. And sadly, there's a lot of married people out there that are, that want their cake and eat it too. And they manipulate people and they hurt good, big-hearted people for their own egos, to build their own egos, to get notches in their belt sexually, and to basically play games. They hurt people playing their own selfish games. And that's exactly what this man is. This man that you're talking about is nothing more than a selfish prick. And he's manipulating women to get more notches in his belt while he's cheating on his wife. Not the kind of man that I think anybody should be proud of. And It's sad. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys are watching this video afterwards, be sure you comment down below, guys. I want to thank you guys for being here, and I probably will start streaming a lot of these Ask the Zaxter here on my YouTube account and then upload them over on my Real World Love channel. I want to know what you guys have to say, though. If you guys have advice for this lady who wrote me this email, maybe something I left out, be sure you comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Maybe you've been in this female situation yourself. I would love to know that as well. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody. Thanks so much for being here, Brookie Bear. You guys have a great day. Stay safe out there. Take care.